Hey, welcome to New Ambassador Coaching, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and open us in prayer and then we will get started. Heavenly Father, Lord, I just want to thank you for this day. Thank you for the opportunity we have to meet together. Thank you for all the new VIP customers, new ambassadors that are on our teams. We just pray a covering and a special blessing over our time tonight. Just pray that you'd help us to unlock any mindset things that are plaguing us to keep us from moving forward. I pray for wisdom as we move forward in our businesses this year. I pray for clarity about what exactly we're wanting to create and just favor as we proceed in confidence, knowing that you have given us this opportunity and we want to steward it well. And so we just commit the time to you tonight. I pray for wisdom, that you just give Carissa and I wisdom as we coach, as we share from our experiences, as we ask questions, and just pray that there would not be any nervousness or fear on the side of anyone that's getting coached tonight. Just pray that it would be a mutual blessing for everybody. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen. I wanted to call everyone's attention to a couple of things before we delve in, and I'm still admitting people to the call. Remind your people, if you have some people that are not on the call, so just pop in your chats and remind people to pop on. Okay, first order of the night is making sure that you are registered for Super Saturday and also that people on your team are registered for Super Saturday. That is the work of a leader. That is part of working this business, is making sure that whoever is on your team or business potentials know about the next upcoming event. And Super Saturday is the second largest training event of the entire year. And so it would behoove us to show up to that training event. And if you're hosting a watch party, shout it out in the comments. I would love to hear where you're hosting from. So get busy in the chat. We would love to see.
And
Justin.
hey,
Yep.
let me expound upon that challenge. When I was at Gold School in Austin in October, Genevieve said, if you make it your mission to never show up to a call or an event without another person, you will double the size of your team very quickly. And you know what happens when you continue to double something is then it starts to get exponentially bigger. And so that goes for calls like tonight. That goes for calls we do about the products or about the business. And it certainly goes for things like Super Saturday. Make it your mission to go with a person. I've heard from some teammates this week, hey, what can I bring on Saturday? Because we're doing one in person. And I said, bring a person.
Yes, exactly. I know before I started Plexus, I remembered seeing people post about Super Saturday. And so your network is watching you. So don't forget to also share about your day on Saturday, whatever that looks like. If you're close to East Central Illinois, feel free to come and join our watch party on Saturday. I'm kicking it off at 9:30 in the morning. It's going to be a great time. So also, I wanted to encourage everyone to plug into accountability. Just a really fast story. My husband, Justin, decided to put a family challenge out to mainly our teenagers and us, the last 38 days of 2023, just to show that you can plug in the last 38 days of the month and make some things happen. And it was a very simple challenge, but it was just basically some daily movement. It was like 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups for the guys, 25 for girls, 50 squats. So it's like a physical component, spiritual discipline component, and personal growth. And so it's just a simple thing that we had to check in every single day on the chat or on our little group chat thread. And it was really good. And I told Justin, I'm like, I would have done probably not even half of that if we didn't have accountability. And he's like, oh, I know for sure. I wouldn't have done this on my own. And so I just wanted to remind everybody to plug into some sort of accountability. If that looks like, seeking it out yourself, because maybe there's nothing being hosted right now, or creating something. If you're recognizing that you yourself need it, don't be afraid to pop something up there, whatever, within your team, or maybe you find a sideline or someone that's on your team that is sharing Plexus. You guys can buddy up. Okay, so just wanted to encourage you guys to find some sort of accountability. And a little plug, if you're on my team, we are in the works for getting something going right after Super Saturday with a chat thread and power hours the month of January, just because I know all of us are going to come off of Super Saturday feeling super inspired, ready to work it, work it, work it. And it's always more fun with collaboration and with buddies to do it. So, and then lastly, I was going to plug our prayer call from last Tuesday. Carissa, Justin, and I did that, and I've heard great feedback from it from those of you who have listened to it or were on live. There were, I think, around 70, maybe even more people on it last week. And so it was a really valuable call. It would be beneficial to go back and listen to it. Even if you're just listening to the words and the prayers spoken, because there is power in spoken words. And I think I was just even listening to Daniel G. I don't know if y'all listen to him at all, but he was talking about how impossible it is to complain about your business and then in the next minute tell people how awesome your business is, or try to recruit people for the business. He's like, it's like talking out of two sides of your mouth, and your brain is thinking one thing and your mouth is saying something else, and it's that those two things don't mesh. And so anyways, I know we all know how important mindset is and the things that we say about our business and the vision we're casting for ourselves with it. And so I just wanted to encourage you guys, if you haven't listened to that call, to go listen to it, and also to get your goals written down. Justin gave like a 6-step process to setting your goals, and also a written mission statement that you can like basically plug in your name and your date and your rank up and things like that on a note card or a board or something. You need to get that written down and shared with someone. And I have had a handful of people message me that have done that so far. It is not too late to go ahead and do yours, but you need to get it written down and visible where you can read it like at least twice a day and see it. And so I just wanted to remind everybody to go and do that. We will bump that homework from last week in case you happen to miss it or just haven't gotten it done yet. It legit doesn't take that many minutes. So even after we're done with this call, you just stay in your office a few minutes longer and get it done. I would highly encourage that, because it will be the catalyst for you getting rolling on the year. So, all right. Okay. I have, Carissa, do you want to go first and coach, or do you want me to? I have.
I'm good either way. Do I have Danielle?
Yes. And
okay.
Let's see.
Is she ready?
Yeah, I see her. I don't see her video on yet. Danielle, are you able to unmute and turn your video on? There she is.
Awesome. Danielle, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, I can't see you yet. Let's see. Keep talking. Introduce yourself.
I'm Danielle.
There you are. Okay, in the red shirt. I know my problem. I need to move to speaker view. That was just a personal click I needed to make. Well, hey, welcome.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about where you're at when it comes to the business side of Plexus? How long have you been sharing about it with others?
I started in October.
Okay. So you're kind of 1 quarter in.
Yeah.
Awesome. And how is it going so far?
It's going good.
Yeah.
I guess.
Good, I guess. Well, what has gone well?
Some of my close friends have signed up and joined under me and family.
Amazing. Well, I hope you're celebrating that, because not everybody gets the support of their close friends and family right away or ever. So that's huge. That's a really big deal. Have you gone silver?
Yes, I went silver in November.
Awesome. Okay. So do you know your next goal, your next rank goal?
Silver senior, or
okay.
Senior silver.
Yes. Okay. So senior silver. Senior silver is roughly 9 people. And if you're new, most people on the call are new enough to not quite have a handle on the comp plan. So again, a plug for Super Saturday. I know if you're near Central Arkansas and want to come to Conway, Arkansas, we're going to watch Super Saturday and do some training afterward. And we're going to give a good overview deep dive on our comp plan. So a little plug for that if you're near here. But just for everyone, senior silver is about 9 people. Every rank after silver comes from points. So points, and good, I'm seeing you nod, Danielle, so you know this. So points are the value of points comes from a profit share value of Plexus's profits as a company. And you get points by how many orders are placed anywhere in your organization, all the way 7 levels down every single month. So every rank after silver comes from points. The people that you personally sponsor are going to be worth 6 points if they order like a system, like a bundle. So of course, that's the goal, is to get everybody on 3 to 4 products or more, get them on a triplex with the balance capsules, maybe get them a reset box, obviously tailored to their needs. But if you sign people up with a system, they will be worth 6 points. And to get to senior silver, you need 50 points.
Right. I had
All
40
right.
last month.
You were at 40 last month? Okay, amazing. So you went silver in November. December, you were at 40. And did you sign any people up in December?
5.
Okay, awesome.
I have 9, I think 9 under me total.
Okay, so you have 9 people, but in order to hit senior silver, you need 9 people to order in January. How familiar are you with your reports?
The ones on the dashboard thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look at them quite a bit.
Good for you. Okay, so you click on your points and rank report and you
Yep.
see the list of names there, and it'll show you the order status if they have an order scheduled for the month. So do you have 9 people with orders that are scheduled to go out this month? Okay.
I do not.
So do you want to dive into why that might be, or do you know why some people aren't ordering?
I know for a couple of them, it's financial.
Okay. And is that
And that's yeah, I have 2 that don't have their orders on. And then there's 2 others that their family's doing it. And so they signed up to get the starter and then now are just ordering through one person.
Oh, okay. Okay. I gotcha. Okay. So, you can tackle this several ways. So the first thing you can be doing is planting new seeds out there. And the way we plant new seeds is PLP, post live party. Obviously there's lots of ways, but that's kind of the go-to little acronym is I can make a post, I can do a live video, I can gather some people up somewhere and share with them. And you can kind of rinse, wash, repeat through that as you're planting new seeds. Another thing that you can do is kind of focus on your customer care, and you can focus on planting seeds for people to begin duplicating or begin referring. That's a big one that helps overcome the budget obstacle. Tell me a little bit about your process, and I know you're brand new, so what's your process for when you're signing a new person up? How do you communicate with them about expectations for their, product journey? And do you plant any seeds about the opportunity?
My daughter under me is going to Super Saturday with me,
Hey.
and Becky. So planted there. I've talked to a few people about the business opportunity. They've just completely shut it down, said they weren't interested.
Okay. So you're totally normal. Totally normal. And if no one has shared this analogy with you yet, I find it very comforting. So in any kind of sales, imagine 12 chairs sitting in a row. And when you first approach somebody and say, hey, have you ever thought about trying Plexus? That little knock on the door, that little conversation is you moving them to the first chair in the row. And there are 12 chairs in the row, which means there are likely 12 other touch points or drips that are going to build their belief over time and help them come to a point of realizing, oh, this is something that solves a problem for me. I might need to order. I might need to join. So it's completely normal. I want everyone on the call to hear for somebody to say, no, thanks, or completely shut it down the first ask. And the same thing goes for the opportunity. A lot of people have preconceived notions about any business opportunity or possibly about a multi-level marketing company. Who knows? Who knows what their objection is? But Typically, it is a process of them starting to realize how this meets a need for them or solves a problem for them or addresses a pain point for them. So good job. Good job bringing it up and moving them to the first chair in the row of 12 as you start to drip on people about the business opportunity. Some helpful little magic wording that you can just make part of your process with every single person as soon as they place their first order. We train on this all the time, is you can just say, and hey, I pride myself on helping every single one of my VIPs get their products paid for so that budget never has to be an issue in paying for your products. So as soon as you're ready to talk about that, I would love to help you with that. And so in that way, that becomes just a part of what you say to every person. You get that seed planted really early. And then as you go, you continue to ask, you continue to drop little testimony or questions like that. So what about, and you said your daughter and a friend are coming to Super Saturday?
My daughter is.
Okay. And you said Becky?
We're going with Becky.
Oh, is she your upline?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay, so good job. You're bringing a person to Super Saturday. That's huge. And there's still time. So you guys can keep asking around. You can talk to any of your VIPs who are local. She can bring a friend who maybe you think would be amazing at this business. Another question I have is, how often do you post about our business?
Like, I was almost doing daily.
Okay.
I've missed a few days here and there about
you try
posting
to
about
post
Plexus.
Okay, so you try to
I
post
try to
about
go
daily?
daily.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume you mean you're posting about products or health testimonies or maybe your own personal journey. But have you looked through, do you ever post about what you love about the team or what you love about the work? Did you post about what you earned when you went silver?
No.
Okay. So again, the goal in doing this is not that someone's just going to fall out of the sky and become the first diamond on your team. It's a process. But if you're talking about the business in your conversations with your VIPs and on your social media, you're getting the message out there to the world that not only am I selling amazing supplements, but I have an opportunity and I'm looking for people not just to ride in the canoe with me, but to row the boat with me. And so I would challenge you with a little bit of homework. I'm so proud of you for posting about Plexus daily. That's huge. And hopefully, are you weaving in some personal content too?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're posting more than once a day.
On Facebook. Well, not just about like personal stuff going on, my kids, stuff like that, and then stuff about Plexus.
Perfect. Okay. So then I would challenge you to try and make every third or fourth Plexus post something that builds belief in this business opportunity. And it is not as hard as it might seem. You can talk about, let's see, you earned what, $400, $300 for going silver?
Yeah.
Okay. So
no,
anything that you can buy with $300, even if you didn't buy that with your silver budget, with your silver bonus, you can post about how in November you earned enough to buy X. And you can think about people in your audience who are sitting there not able to buy X. And the fact that that might spark something in them. I remember when Jessica Heffley, she's a 7-star diamond now, but when she was first building her business, she was posting about the opportunity all the time. And one day she posted, oh my gosh, I used to feel so guilty getting my nails done. And I'm so thankful I have enough, extra in the budget to do something like that for myself. And it was like a picture of her nails. She was home in her robe. And I don't even get my nails done. Y'all can see they look terrible. But that spoke to me because it meant she had $35 extra to blow on whatever she wanted. And so that spoke to me. So I'm going to challenge you, Danielle, to make every third or fourth Plexus post something that builds belief in our opportunity. You can talk about what you're using the earnings on. You can talk about what a blessing it is to have your products paid for. You can even talk about stuff like this. Like, oh my gosh, it's so wonderful to be part of a company and a team who cares about my personal growth, who gets on a Zoom with me and coaches me and uplifts me and helps me reach my goals. I'm loving this community. That's a business post because you're showing people what it looks like to work with you and what kind of support they can expect to have and what the team is like. So, guys, when we flip over to Megan and her coachee, I'll pop a list in the comments of all the different ways you can post about the business. There's so many, but I think we get stuck in our head like, well, I already posted about what I spent my bonus on. There's lots of options. Okay, so let's talk about your customer care a little bit. So, do you have a system for checking on your people as they're using their products?
I've been using Facebook Messenger, send them a message, ask them how it's going, if they have any questions.
Okay. Sweet. And how often are you checking in?
Well, most of them joined in December, so I've only checked in a few times with them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you had your November people. How about with them?
Well, that was my family, so.
Okay, so you talk all the time. Okay, well, here is a good tip that has helped me a lot. And I actually didn't implement this till I was already diamond, but it's helped me a lot. I have I call it my drip. I still send, it's not automatic. I send it myself and I edit and tweak it with each person. But I have a little list of what follow-ups I send. I've got one that I send on day 2 and one that I send on day 5, one that I send on day 8. I know Megan has something similar, and they probably look really similar to each other. But I cannot tell y'all how helpful it is to have it all written out. And so when I reach out to someone on day 8, I say, hey, how's it going? Tell me if you've noticed this, this, or this. Oh, by the way, have I taught you about your perks yet? Your perks are accrued every month that you receive your subscription. Here's a little video about how they work. So one, it frees up my brain space. I don't have to think about what to say. And that's really, really priceless. But also it makes sure nothing's falling through the cracks, and it makes sure I'm planting lots of little seeds that help with retention. So in my little drip, I've got little seeds planted about, now here's your referral link. You'll earn $300 when your first 3 friends do what you just did. So it plants a little seed for them to start referring. It also plants a little seed about keeping their subscription turned on and earning those perks for free products. It brings up die off, I think, at a good time. After they've been on their products a few weeks, you can kind of casually go, now, hey, have you noticed any detox symptoms? This is completely normal. Here's a little video explaining that. So it's awesome. So I would recommend that you get something like that. Now, again, Megan's already got she's got a file in her team page. It's all written out. And I have one too that I'm happy to share with you all. But I would encourage you to do that. I think that'll help with your retention. And I think it'll make your conversations easier with your customers. What do you have going on to hit your goal this month?
I've been sharing on Facebook.
Okay.
I've done a few face-to-face with people.
Nice. So have you set up a meeting with people for the purpose of sharing with them?
Not intentionally. I was out and somebody asked me about it, and so we started talking face-to-face, which then their whole office was asking questions.
Oh, cool. Good for you. Do you carry samples around?
No.
Okay. Well, it's not a must, but sometimes with the right person, that can be a good thing. So hydrate, active, slim. I feel like active is a great one to have a few extra in your purse because it's kind of a gateway product. You feel so good so instantly on the active. Okay. So you're posting, and from what I heard, you're posting pretty consistently. So my challenge to you there is going to be to incorporate the business into your posting. But do you ever go live?
Not yet.
Okay, well, you're on video now. How do you feel?
Very nervous.
Okay. Well, hey, it is okay to be nervous in a video. And if you weren't, it wouldn't be authentic. It wouldn't be real. So cast out the idea that it has to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. The first one can actually suck. I was rewatching a Christina Williams video today, and she said there's no success without suck. And I was like, she is so funny. So, hey, everybody, your first live can actually totally suck, because the only point of it is to rip the Band-Aid off. That is the point of your first live, rip off the Band-Aid. So literally, if you press live on your Facebook and you're just like, hey guys, I feel really awkward. Hey, you win, because you went live and you ripped off the Band-Aid. So, oh yeah, Megan says her first live totally did suck. She can send it. Okay. So why do we go live? Well, you can go live about Plexus. You can actually just talk about your pink drink, talk about what results you started for, what you've seen so far. And I love this fact, you guys. People get so in the weeds thinking that they have to have a very in-depth testimony in order to be able to share, but actually that's not as effective. You have to be able to think back to you like 1 hour before you took the plunge and ordered. Where were you at in your mind like 1 hour before you took the plunge and ordered? That's who you're trying to connect with anyway. You're not really trying to say, and here I am 3, 4, 5, 6 months later in my glory days. You're trying to connect with the pain points. You're trying to connect with the suffering and where that person, they're fed up. So you don't have to have a huge, elaborate, involved testimony to be able to meet someone where they're at in a state of fed up, looking for change. So you can go live about Plexus. You can talk about where you were in your mind, what thoughts you were thinking right before you started. You can talk about what little wins and benefits you've had so far, but your lives don't have to all be about Plexus. The goal is adding value. A lot of us have only ever used Facebook to consume. So we get on, and this goes for Instagram too, and TikTok, as we get on social media to zone out, to be entertained, to consume.
Mm-hmm.
But in Plexus, as entrepreneurs, business builders, we have to start to shift to creation over consumption. We have to start viewing social media as a place to create content that people will benefit from. So I invite everyone into that shift to start thinking about your social media in terms of creation over consumption. And a great example of that would be like, you're going out on a date night with your husband. Okay. You would normally take a cute picture and be like, out on a date with my honey. Instead, you might rethink that and post something like, hey, here are my top 5 great or favorite tips to date your spouse on a budget. Right? Or something that's in your wheelhouse, something you know a little something about that adds value to another person, that either entertains them or educates them. Am I making sense on the adding value, the creating? Okay.
Yeah.
So for you, Danielle, when you do your live video, it can be about Plexus. It can be about where you were at right before you started. I would challenge you to definitely do that live. But you can also be going live about anything that you can add value at. So what are some of your like just daily, skills or things you spend a lot of time on outside of Plexus? Running. Okay. Running is a big pillar for you. Okay. So that's going to for sure be an area where you can add some value. And think about the layperson. Like I did a reel the other day that was like some tips for getting more exercise in the winter. And it was just like, pack chapstick, pack tissues. Y'all, I have had so many walks where I had to use my hood because my nose was dripping because it was cold. So that's why a lot of people don't go running. They're like, it's cold. So you can give people tips for how to get out and go running even when it's cold. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I was like, pack tissues, don't use your hood. Go ahead.
Yep.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I did do a live. I guess I didn't think about it. When they pulled the pin out of my finger.
Ooh! Did you have
that was a big thing.
A hammer?
No, I sliced it with a drone through the bone.
Oh my gosh. Well, good for you going live. One thing Megan always does, she always finds herself in really ridiculous situations, blonde moments. And so she has gotten better about recognizing them and posting them. because she gets so much engagement whenever those moments happen. So whatever whatever your particular brand of interest is in your life, start thinking about, how can I create with this in a way that my audience will be drawn to me, where they'll begin to trust me more, they'll begin to come to me for education, entertainment, or interest of some kind. Okay, so that's challenge number 2 for you, is to do 2 live videos. And one of them, I want you to talk about where you were at in your mind before you started Plexus. What were the painful thoughts that finally made you take the plunge? Because someone out there has those same painful thoughts. And it's not enough for them just to see you say, oh, I'm loving how my blood sugar is so much more under control. You know, that's not enough. They need to hear their thought come out of your mouth. And so going back to where you were right before you took the plunge and joined, that's how you're going to cut through the noise and speak to somebody. And I've said this in several coaching calls lately, guys. People really do fall out of the sky. Right now, you're looking at your 9 people and a couple of them have their sub turned off, and it's like, how am I going to get to senior silver? But when you start getting the word out there a lot more consistently and a lot more boldly in some of these ways, people really do fall out of the sky. And when you amp up the intensity, even more so. So if you're used to posting once a day and you amp it up to 2 or 3, and you're weaving in live video in there, you're going to start to see people commenting or reaching out that you had no idea were interested. I think we probably have to kick it over to Meg pretty soon, but one more question for you is, have you done any actually reaching out without waiting for people to come to you? Like, you know, they've
Not
seen your post or...
like when they like a post, I'll reach out to them.
Good. Good. Okay, so the last thing I'll challenge you on tonight is to reach out to someone who has not liked a post or sent you a message or commented. Reach out to some people just because their name is on your mind, their name is on your heart. You think that they would be fun to get healthy with, or you think they would be fun to link arms with in this business. And reach out. Voice message is usually better because they can't skim. And so the curiosity wins out and they have to click play. But all you're going to do is compliment them and say, your name came to my mind and I thought you would be really fun to get healthy with, or I thought you would be really fun to link arms and do this business with. I've had a blast with it. I've been doing it since November and I'm loving the people. I'm loving the community. And I just wanted you to know, like, I see a spark in you and I just would love to do this with you. And there's something about like that lack of desperation where you're just saying, I see a spark in you and I would love to do this with you. You're not communicating, I need you to do this with me, you know, like you're just knocking on the door, planting that first seed, starting that conversation. But I would challenge you to do that too. You don't have to wait for people to come to you. You can be the ball is always in our court. So you can be the one to start getting out there and getting these conversations started. And I think that will really help you start to have some peeps fall from the sky and get you not just to your 9 people, but blow through your 9 people and be on your way, well on your way to gold.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to let Megan take over with Amanda. Amanda, are you on?
Yes.
Okay, sweet.
Perfect. I was going to answer a question really quickly that popped up pretty early on the last coaching. And that was the question about, what do you do about someone who signed up last month and is planning on continuing, but she turned off the subscription because she hates anything auto ship? And then everyone's like, yes, please answer that question. Okay. So I typically will address that before that objection ever comes up. So this might be some tips for continuing, you know, as you continue to grow your team this month and try something a little bit, maybe a little pivot. So when I'm getting people signed up, I tell them that there is an auto ship and that I very strongly suggest that they keep the auto ship on for their first 90 days. And the reason is they're going to get rewards for keeping the auto ship on. And I will actually tell them about the perks. They get 250 perks with their initial order. And then as their auto ship kicks out each month, it's actually a reward for consistency. And that those will accrue and they'll be able to get free products with it. And so it's a win-win. And that basically based on the health goals that they're telling me that they have, they need to stay consistent with that set of products. And I say, hey, it's completely customizable. Also, like if you want to add something in or delete something, like we can tweak it. It's more like a flex ship. But I usually like send some verbiage about what they're getting into first on the front end of that. And so that may help, those people that just absolutely hate what they say, hate auto ships. It's typically because it ships when they're not expecting it or something. And so just them knowing that it's completely customizable will help. So I would say on the front end, make sure that you're talking about that and that they understand it. And you can also put a little reminder in your calendar to follow up with them like 48 hours before, and or just manage it for them. I do that for people all the time. Now, at the end of the day, you cannot make people do anything per se. You can influence their perspective and challenge their thinking on it. And if all else fails, it's not the end of the world. You can also put a calendar date in your reminder in your calendar to follow up with them 48 hours before their month or whatever before their products run out, to remind them. So sometimes it helps people just to have someone manage their account for them. Maybe that's the issue, who knows. But Carissa, if you have anything else that you typically say to help them with that. Oh, she says, yes, I let them know it's a flex ship, always adjustable, and I will check in on them several times a month so they won't forget to tweak it when needed.
Yeah, and I think that our little drip, customer care drip, is going to solve a lot of that for people.
Mm-hmm.
When people see what to send out every few days. But I agree with you. Yeah. Everything.
So anyways, and then for someone that has already turned off their subscription, but they're planning to order, I would just keep close conversation with them, and help them order on the, I don't know, not necessarily the early side, but just to make sure that they don't run out of their products, so that they can stay consistent with it. The other thing is you may just send them a voice message and explain, it's a little bit of backtracking, but just explain about the perks, explain why there is perks to keeping the auto ship on, and they may go ahead and set it back up, or you just can offer that extra customer service and say, hey, if you want me to go in and set that back up so you don't lose that, the initial several hundred perk credits, I can adjust that for you. And typically you can call in to customer service and request those to be added back if they turn their sub back on, even if it's outside their 2-day window or whatever of redeeming their perks or whatever, salvaging them. So, okay, Amanda, welcome. Are you feeling nervous too, like Danielle was?
Yes.
Oh no.
I stumble over my words a lot, so.
Oh, it's okay. It's a friendly, casual crowd here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about where you're at with Plexus, what rank you are, how long you've been doing this, a little bit of your story.
So this is my second set doing Plexus. I did Plexus before and then I quit. And then I signed up, I believe, in September.
Mm-hmm.
I am silver. I believe I went silver in November. So yeah.
Okay. And then what is your overall goal?
I would love to be able to make, right now, would love to make enough income to send my daughter to my church's new private school that we're starting.
Oh, okay.
So
how much is that?
That's my goal. It'd be about $500 a month.
Okay.
So I'd love to be able to supplement enough income to help pay for that and anything else that comes our way.
Okay. So say you hit that $500 a month threshold, what would be your next goal or why?
Diamond obviously is a huge goal, but like, I feel like I need short-term goals. Like, that is obviously like it's baby steps.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would love just to be able to not have to worry about if a vehicle breaks down or if something, happens and we can't, we're going to have to turn off something or not be able to get something this month.
Mm-hmm. So money giving you choices and options and less stress.
Yes. Yes.
Love it. Okay, so the next baby step would be senior silver. Are you
Yes.
familiar with that rank and what would be needed to do that?
Actually, since I quit, it is a newer rank, so I'm trying to understand it. So I don't understand the points process. I'm again still learning that stuff too. So
Okay, it's fine if you're not good at math. I'm not saying you're not good at math, but I'm a math person. But Plexus math is fun math. So silver is 3 people, and so you
Mhm.
already checked that. You already checked the boxes for that one. So congrats on that. That's awesome. And then senior silver would be approximately 9 people. Um, because level ones are now worth 6 points instead of 5, it used to be 10 people. So but now it's 9 people. You can hit senior silver with 9 people. And so you can achieve that a couple different ways. You can sign up 6 more people, right?
Mhm.
Or you could help those 3 people add 3 people, or a combination of both. And so
Okay.
do any of the people that you've currently signed up want to share?
My best friend is one of my people, and she is one away from silver.
Oh, awesome.
So that helps. I have another friend at church that I'm working on trying to get her to start sharing, but she said it's a conflict deal. So, but I've got her. She's doing um the products. She's starting a reset like today, I believe. I haven't messaged her today because life has been crazy. Um, and I'm trying to get a couple more people to sign up under me.
Okay, sweet. So tell me a little bit about your process so how you've added those 3 people, or how
So my
many.
best friend came to a charcuterie party that Cassie and I had.
Okay.
It was like just the information party. Um, and my best friend had done just the pink drink before, but didn't do triplex and didn't know much about it. And she's been struggling with a lot of extra stress and inflammation and headaches, like debilitating migraines. And so she's like, okay, I'm gonna try it. And she gave it the 60 days, and she's already, experiencing less headaches. And so the other friend from church that it has signed up, she is in the life group and inquire with my best friend, and she's one of my she serves with me in the kids zone. And so she saw me posting and had talked to her, and so she came to me and was asking me about that stuff. And so I don't try to vomit plexus with people that have questions. I
Mhm.
just try to just drop little nuggets as I can, because I don't want somebody to sit here and just overload me with information just to where it's just like I can't process all of this.
Mhm.
So I just dropped little nuggets, and Cassie, that's how Cassie was with me. And I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna vomit plexus. So I just kind of follow up and followed up and followed up, and she saw the great deal that we had in November, and that's when she ended up signing up.
Okay, awesome. So I would rinse, wash, repeat. Keep doing what you're doing in light of that. Is there anything that you feel like you're avoiding or not comfortable doing
I hate doing lives. I
live?
hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I stumble over my words. I'm like, okay, I have a great idea of what I'm going to say. And then I get to a spot where I'm going to do my live, because I don't want to do it like in the middle of the gym or something. And then my mind goes blank, and I cannot ever remember what I'm going to say. And I stumble over everything, and I get all hot and sweaty, and I'm like, okay, I'm out. Bye. And that's basically how I end it.
Yeah. So, but you have done them before.
I've done a couple.
Okay. About
Cassie's like, go do it. Go right now. She makes me do it.
And have you had some feedback from those?
No,
Okay. At least yet. That you
not
know.
yet.
Okay. So, but they've been specifically about plexus.
Yes.
Okay. Well, is there anything else that you're too scared to do, or anything that you know
The
you're like, man, don't want to do?
Carissa hinted on the cold messaging,
Okay.
and I've done that a couple of times, and it's been nothing but crickets. I've done that several times, and I did the voice messaging,
Mhm.
And it's nothing. So I'm just kind of stepped away from that.
Okay.
For,
What's your definition of cold messaging?
well, like when some, like, been praying for some, for the Lord to give us someone's name, or somebody comes to mind, you see them pop up in your feed and you're like, oh yeah, I need to message that person. That's my definition of cold messaging,
Okay.
where they've not asked anything about Plexus. They've not really interacted, just shoot them a message because they came to my mind.
Hmm. But it's someone that you know. It's not a stranger.
Yes. Oh yes. Yes. It's someone that I know.
Okay. A couple thoughts. I love the charcuterie party idea. So that was a charcuterie party, but charcuterie plexus party? Like people
Yes.
knew they were coming to learn about plexus?
Yes.
Okay, but you just kind of titled it that way they know it would know, like, oh fun, it's party.
Yes. Yeah. Food. We did chili, charcuterie, and desserts. I
Okay.
did some apple, I don't even, caramel apple stuff. Like, yeah, it
Okay.
was
Oh, yeah, fun.
boards and blends party, she says.
Very fun. Okay, well, anyone that's listening, take some ideas here because this is all about ideas. You're in the hot seat, Amanda, but everybody that's
It's all
listening,
good.
cheering you on and gleaning ideas from you. So, I would definitely keep up the posting, just like Carissa was talking about. Your like this whole people falling out of the sky is a direct result of your output, and so the concept of amping up our activity, not just you, but me, everybody that's listening, amping up our activity on social media, adding value, not being afraid of posting about Plexus. I know Jessica challenged us to do like a posting 4 times a day, just like we did originally when we all started Plexus. And it was funny how many mindset issues came up for me. But after doing that for a week or two, it's interesting how your threshold, like your tolerance for who cares? I'm just putting it out there. I did 2 back-to-back testimonies today, but it caught someone's eye. There was a Lyme testimony that Wendy Larson posted. I was like, ooh, that's really good. And so just an encouragement there to keep posting because the consistency of that will compound. Also, it's okay to not love the lives, but to continue to do them. I do have a couple of tweak ideas that you could try. One would be to go live in your stories. Do you ever do that?
No.
I think it's easier. So if
Okay.
you just want to get better at the skill of talking into your phone, it doesn't even have to be Plexus related. I love going from Instagram, going live from my Instagram stories because there's a really cute filter. There's like a sparkle filter, and then there's another filter that I
Mhm.
like, and it shares like the day and time. And so it doesn't even have to be, it can just be whatever you're doing in your life that you're just kind of showcasing, like how to make something or something the kids are doing that's funny or whatever. But I found that doing those, one, it builds trust with your audience. It's interesting because it's like people like to watch what is that called, virtual reality or whatever, those like TV shows.
Mhm.
But I feel like like little Instagram stories or clips, Facebook clips, on their stories, that's a similar concept, but it's like people that they know and they like to follow what we're doing. So that might be an idea where you can just be sharing life stuff in live video format, but maybe it won't feel as stressy. So where you can just get better at the skill. And that's the thing is
Mhm.
like we're learning skills. And so I love the I don't remember who said it, but you either win or you learn. There's no failure. And even if you feel like you stumble over your words, like that's not a problem. Like it actually makes actually makes people love you more because it's raw and unfiltered. And I think that's what people expect anyways from a live video.
Mhm.
They're not expecting like a polished public speaker necessarily. Um,
Yeah.
and then with the cold messaging, I'll just pipe this in here because I feel like I've done a little bit of everything and a little bit of everything works. It's like when I look at the demographics of my team, it's not one thing that I've done that's necessarily recruited all these people. I've done blitzes of cold messaging. I have, I think, 2 jewels from that. I've had seasons where I have done a lot of posting. I have had people come to me from that. I've had people come to live events at my house and they've signed up from that. So it's a lot of different things, and it's not just one thing. So my
Mhm.
encouragement, and I remember Jessica Heffley saying my team would only be half the size if I depended on people coming to me versus me initiating with people. And I was like, oh wow. So it does bear fruit. And you may feel like, the 10 messages, or maybe you sent 100 messages, I don't know, that you did of the cold messaging type didn't bear fruit yet. But you have to think of it in terms of, I'm learning a skill set, and also cumulatively, it will pay off at some point. And I think also, this is just kind of a side note that may be helpful to you, but approaching it with the expectation that you're going to impact someone's life in a good way. They may not respond back to you. I mean, I can't tell you how many people are now either current customers of mine or have joined me for the business, and they didn't respond back to like an initial reach out that I did to them, or that I sent to
Wow.
them. But it doesn't mean that they're not interested. I like what Wendy says. She's like, it just means if they didn't respond, it just means they're still thinking about it. Or who knows, they got distracted, changing a diaper, or a kid interrupting them, or whatever.
Mhm.
So what is your goal for this month?
I would love to maintain silver. I would love to push for senior silver. My life is really busy right now. January and February is like the busiest months for us because basketball and just sports and everything. I would love to just, I don't know. I really haven't thought about my goals because
Okay.
it's just busy. That maybe that's something I need to talk about is, just getting on a hamster wheel through life right now.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it slows down. maybe the women that are 10 years older than us can
both of my children are playing basketball right now, and I'm my daughter's basketball coach. So life is on top of coaching at the
all
gym.
the regular stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I do feel like when you're in when the kids are in sports, or you're a coach or whatever, it's like everything's up level. But one of my thoughts is, why is that a problem? Why is it not the best ever? Because you're out in the public eye, you're sharing on social media, and people are going to start associating you with Plexus products, Plexus business, and you never know how you being in public like that can spark, people will see you and maybe even spark up conversation, or your presence will remind them, like, oh yeah, she posted about that one thing, I need to message her about that. Yes, Carissa says all eyes on me. So with your marketing on social media,
Mhm.
you're directing their eyes to you. And so
Okay.
I think that that's the beauty of this business, is like, it can fit into our life however crazy busy it is. And if we have the
Mhm.
intention to help the people, serve the people that God brings across our path. Like, I was chatting with well, I attended a friend's birth last summer, and that assistant midwife, actually, her daughter takes lessons from my sister, and so she came over for tea yesterday, and she was like the assistant midwife, but she was saying that Deb just has, my midwife has the perspective that she's meant to help whoever comes to her. And so they had a crazy month of like 16 births in one month, and she's like, but Deb was fine with it. It was just the craziness of it all. And I feel like that perspective can be ours in light of our Plexus businesses also, because as we're walking through all the crazy busy of life, we're meant to help the people that come to us, and maybe there's a level of us initiating conversations also, or initiating through posting. Is there anything that you feel like is on your mind subconsciously, like a fear or a question that you have that you want to ask me?
My fear is failing
Okay.
like I did last time, because it just didn't. I don't know why, but my fear is failing and not being able to provide and support my family
Mm.
like I want to.
Hmm.
I think that's probably my biggest fear,
Okay.
because I know the products work. I mean, it's obvious the products work. It's just the business. I'm still learning how to do it, and I don't. I struggle with it. I just struggle with it
Hmm. What made you think that you failed last time?
because it took me a year and a half to go silver,
Okay.
and then I went silver, and then I was silver for a month, and then I tanked, and I didn't maintain. And it just did not work. I don't know if it was. This sounds really terrible. I don't know if it was my upline. I don't know if it was me and just the season of life I was in. I don't know. But I I don't want to fail this time. And that's, I mean, Cassie and I have had many of talks about that.
That is awesome.
She
Well,
is.
I will say that it would be helpful to be thinking, and I feel like a part of this business is just thinking about your business. And so maybe evaluate, like, why did it take me so long last time to go silver? Like, what were my
Mhm.
action steps, or what action was I not taking? Maybe I was in my head and thinking about it so much, but maybe not taking action. I don't know what the reasoning was, but that may be helpful for you to identify, like, what were the things that contributed to what I felt like was failure that first time around, and then what can I do differently this time? And I think that's the beautiful thing, is like, we have a new day tomorrow, and we can pivot, make the necessary pivot so that we can avoid, making the same mistakes twice. And I think, well, I wrote down, may the fear of failing actually fuel your journey forward. Not that we work out of fear, but
Mhm.
that could be fuel in a sense. Like, it doesn't have to be like a negative thing, but actually, like, I am learning the skills this time around, because maybe you lacked in skills, maybe you lacked in knowledge, maybe it was a belief thing, where,
Mhm.
or whatever. Yeah. So I would challenge you to kind of journal through that. Think,
Okay.
because maybe there'll be some things that pop up for you. Maybe Cassie can hold the mirror a little bit too, for, ongoing conversations. And
Mhm.
but my question, I guess, we'll end with is, what do you want your fuel to be? Obviously, you have that fear in the back of your mind of fearing failure, but, like, in your healthiest, highest version of yourself, how do you want to be proceeding with building your business?
I don't know how to answer. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Maybe I don't understand the question. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, like, a lot of things that we do from an emotion, and so,
Mhm.
and thoughts that we're thinking, right? And so you can choose to be, like, fueled through fear of failing, or fear, or
Mhm.
um just different things. But that might be something that you journal or pray about also, is like, how do I want to be showing up? What do I want the fuel to be, moving forward in your business this time? Because you're building it differently, and that's the beautiful
Mhm.
thing. Like, at any point, we have the opportunity to um to do it differently, do it better. you know
Mhm. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, that's not something I've thought about.
hmm
I don't.
you don't have to have an answer, and there's no
Yeah.
right or wrong answer. But guys, if you guys are listening and, like, what do I want? How do I want to be moving forward? Like, what is my fuel? Um,
Well, can I chime in here?
yeah.
I would love it if people had some examples. Like Megan, I'll share your example as you were thinking on one side, who would even do this with me?
hmm
But then what's also true that you were choosing to operate from was, I think people are going to come back and thank me for sharing Plexus with them.
hmm
Um, and this is ongoing. So like I would say 2 years ago in my business, I reflected on my thoughts and I realized I was thinking a lot of really sad things about my business. I was just grieving all the time. I was grieving about all the people that had ever quit and taking it so personally. And so I was like, I need to get around some people who think their business is fun and who have a lighthearted, upbeat perspective about it, and just start like hearing from them and asking them questions more. And so that started introducing me to new thoughts.
hmm
Mhm.
And one example of that was like, that's okay that that person was just here for a season. Like that was just good practice for me. And I'll be even more ready to lead the next person who comes along who's ready to run. So it just introduced brand new thoughts to my brain, because my brain, you don't know, we don't normally think about what we're thinking about.
hmm
And if we do think about what we're thinking about, it's pretty difficult to introduce an entirely new thought, because that has to come from somewhere, right? And if we've only ever, I think Jessica used this analogy on one of our coachings, or if you've only ever eaten chicken nuggets, ketchup, and saltine crackers every meal for your entire life, that's all you know.
hmm
So imagine that our brain is feeding on a diet of chicken nuggets, saltine crackers, ketchup, and that's our thoughts. And we just don't know anything else. So yeah, it's a very valuable exercise. And I think having examples is helpful. So that's one example from Megan, one example from me. If anybody else has an example that you can pop in the comments, just kind of. And again, this isn't like, okay, take my negative thought, swap it for a positive thought. It's not that, because our brains are really good at spotting BS. So it's not that. This is, okay, that feels really true, but what else could be true? That's how we begin to identify thoughts that help us create in a much more powerful way.
And I think what I was trying to get at, Amanda, is that you are living in response to in your business how things went previously, like the first time around. And so I guess I want to encourage you to think new thoughts, or consider the thoughts or the subconscious things that are popping up from maybe your previous experience, and how maybe you want to do it differently. And we have that opportunity, we have the choice to show up in a different way, and to do it differently, to do it better. And this is applicable to all of us on the call, whether you've been in Plexus for a month or 5 years or 10 years. At any point, we can choose to change something, which is a good thing. And so I just wanted to encourage you, if you're feeling like, I don't know, like bringing in past experiences, or this is how it was before, oh, here we go again, type of perspective, versus thinking forward and maybe operating more from abundance, or operating from love and service, versus just fear or angst or scarcity or desperation or whatever. I don't know if that is any of this resonating.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited, and this I've told Cassie several times, and a lot of my friends, my best friend that does this with me, this time feels different. It feels better. I feel more, what's the word? Educated, I guess. Like, I don't know. I just feel more confident in it. I don't want to fail, because I know like how frustrating it was last time for me and my husband. And I don't, and that was a lot of, both of us, whenever I chose to do this again, was, it just can't be like last time. It's just, and so that's I think like that's where I've been operating from. It's just like, okay, I have to be better than I was before. I have to be better than I was before. I feel like that's always been my mindset with everything I've done sports wise. When it comes to my coaching, at the gym, I just have to be better than I was before. Failure is not an option. And it's just something that's the way I've always been. That's since I was little. Can't fail.
Well, from what I'm hearing today, I think you have every reason to be as successful as you want to be. And regardless of what happened the first time around, I mean, I wouldn't sit and dwell there, but reflect on it a minute. If there's something to glean that you can move forward and pivot from, fabulous. But otherwise, I'm with you. I think this is a different season, different mentors, more tools, more knowledge. You're in a great position to go for it.
I feel more connected to my team. I mean, we were connected before, but I feel more like I can ask stupid questions and don't feel stupid asking them, if that makes complete sense.
Yes. And you're in your fast start window, right?
I think I just missed fast start senior silver at the end of December.
Okay. Well, you're still, I mean, the fast start is still available to you. You probably have fast start gold to achieve by the end of this month. And don't move that off the table, because if you get duplication going on your team, and you really have some output in your social media, and you're out amongst in the public a lot and that kind of thing, I mean, it's not uncommon for your team to grow, that much, and to double rank in a month. So I was just going to mention, I have a friend, she might be on here tonight, that started in July, but then started sharing in September. And in her first 3 months of sharing, she's made close to $7,000. And that was before we got commissions paid out this month. And so just so everyone that's on the call that is listening, the fast start bonuses are incredible. And there's like $1,000 on the table this month for recruiting 6 and retaining, I can't remember how many from last month or last year. So take advantage of the things that Plexus is putting out there, because they're there to help us grow our businesses and really maximize the comp plan and help more people, right? That's why we're here. Amanda, thank you for popping on. I hope this was helpful.
Yes,
Oh,
it was very helpful. Thank you so much. Sorry, my phone was being dumb. It wouldn't, the
buddy.
mute part wouldn't come up. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, you're good. We will get the recording up so you guys can, well, you and Danielle can both listen to the replay, because there may be more things that pop up for you as you listen and you're not like under the wire trying to think of responses. But, you know, as you listen back through, there might be things that pop up for you. And you have conversations with Cassie and Danielle. You can converse with Jacqueline and Melody too, from what you gleaned from the call too. Okay, well, everybody, thank you for popping on. We're going to continue our Tuesday coaching, so stay tuned for next week's. I believe that we're going to maybe do some rank-based coaching, so stay tuned for that. Have a great time at Super Saturday, and we'll talk to you all soon. Bye, guys.